Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be installing a new set of SMPro PLATINUM wheels on my STARK VARG that I recently customized using SMPro's wheel configurator. It's super fun to play with and even a bit addictive for creating different wheel looks. I'll leave a link below for you to check that out if you want to create your own custom look. I spent a lot of time playing on it and came up with what I think is the perfect hub, spoke, and nipple combo for my VARG. It's a 21-19 setup with a 1.6-inch rim up front and a 2.15 in the back. The rim color is anodized matte black. The hubs are a gunmetal Cerakote coating, which is like a durable ceramic coating that's applied thinner than a human hair. The spokes are 8-gauge Bulldog stainless, and the nipples have red anodizing. I also grabbed some rim tape and a titanium 2.15-inch rim lock, as well as some Mitas heavy-duty tubes to finish this off right. And I'll be mounting Dunlop MX 34s on these wheels, because this is my track bike and it's not street ridden. That back tire is going to require a bit more force than this front one. I'm going to do the easy one first. So I'm going to take my 3/8 drive in the 10mm and let's get that axle nut off. And I'll just unscrew it, but not fully remove it yet. And now I will loosen up the 4 pinch bolts. Now I'll use a T45 with my 3/8 drive. Once the pinch bolts are all loosened up, I can just push this through. And it's a lot easier to pull this axle on the other side. And the wheel should pop right off. The only thing that I'm going to be reusing from this front Stark wheel is this brake rotor. I'm going to install the tire and tube on the new wheel first. You really don't want to scratch it or get it unnecessarily dirty during the install. So I will install this after the front tire and tube are on the new wheel. All the wheel specs here, 21 by 1.6, gunmetal gray Cerakote hubs, matte black rim color, red nipples, polished stainless Bulldog spokes, and finished by Scott. Sick job, man. Also has some fitting and cleaning instructions and a reminder to check the spoke tension every once in a while, which I do on all my bikes. I have the front wheel and my tire stand, and I'll show you guys some of the tools I'm going to use to get this tire on. For sure, I'm going to use my rim guards on this one. I'm super paranoid about putting a scratch in these wheels. Got my bead buddy. This is a really good tool for tire installation. I can hook it on the spoke, and this end will keep the tire down off the bead. That's key for when you're putting the bead down under on this side. You also want it down and pushed up into the center of the rim on the opposite side. I have my Nomar tire lubricant, and I won't use anything else since I started using this stuff. It's super good. I'll be using 3 Motion Pro spoons for this one. Let's start by putting this rim tape on. Get it centered. Feels pretty grippy, like it's not going to slip much. And also, don't forget to line up your valve stem hole. So now we're going to get the front tire on. Just one bead first. There's 2 things to note here. One is the tire rotation. The front Dunlop MX 34 is a directional tire. So that means it's meant to rotate in only one direction. So you just find the arrow, which is there, rotating this way, and then match it up with the brake rotor side to make sure you're doing it right. And also, you see this yellow spot on the tire? That's the lightest point on the whole tire. So you want to line that up with your valve stem. What that's going to do is it's going to minimize the amount of balancing that needs to be done on the wheel when it's all done. Now, normally I would do this right here on the bench. I'm going to put it down on the floor so I can use my body for leverage. Make sure to put the tire lube only on the inside of the bead here, or the flat part. Don't put it on the sidewall part. You could risk the tire slipping. And you flip it back. Once again, make sure you have the rotation correct. This is the brake rotor side, so it's going to be rotating this way. Usually I can get that first bead on with just a little bit of pressure. I'm gonna have to use my tire irons to get the opposite side down. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of air in the tire, just enough so it kind of stays up in the top here and not down near the rim. Not too much. These heavy duty tubes are nice. Let's get these nuts off first. There's a great internet mystery out there about the orientation of these two nuts on the inner tube with regards to the rim. I've done it both ways. I've had the first nut down inside the rim and the second nut on top. I've also done it where I had both nuts on top and I just used the second nut as a lock nut against the first nut. And I think that's how I'm going to do these wheels. I will only finger tight the top nut and then I will lock the second nut down against that one as a lock nut. Got it. Now I'm going to put one nut on there so it can't slip back in. Let's put some Nomar on the inside. And I think I'm going to start just to the right of my valve stem. So I'm going to get this down under the rim, and then I'm going to use my bead buddy to lock it down right here, just to the right of the valve stem on one of the spokes. This will keep the bead down under the rim so I can work my way all the way around back to this point. Just get it started on this side. Now I can work my way around. I'm taking bigger bites now, but as I make my way around the tire, I will have to take smaller and smaller bites with the spoons. I'm going to put this in now because I won't be able to get that in later. It's going to be a lot of pressure here. And then this will be the final one. All right, let's put some air in this thing and see how bad of a job I did. I'm going to put about, I don't know, maybe 25 PSI. Try to get the bead to pop. I don't really see that the tube is pinched anywhere. And I don't see any air leaking. I think we're good on this tire. And I will take this first nut, just hand tight. And then I will take this second nut and just bring it down and lock it against this one. Okay, so now I'm going to take the brake rotor off the stock wheel and we're going to put it on this one. The new wheels came with spacers and seals, so I won't be using these old ones. I just need to get this rotor off. I'm going to put the seal and the spacer on. Wow, it's raining so hard outside. Maybe you guys can hear that. And I'm going to torque these rotor bolts at about 17 Newton meters. And always remember, do the final torque in an opposing fashion. Now I just need to fit the seal and the spacer on this side. So I will first tighten the pinch bolts on the opposite side of the axle nut so I can torque this axle nut. Then once that's done, I'll go back and loosen those pinch bolts. Then I will spin the wheel a few times and cycle the front brake, just make sure there's no binding. And then I'll go back and tighten all these pinch bolts to 15 Nm. And always remember to bounce back and forth a few times on the pinch bolts when you're torquing them down. I'll put the rim lock down under the rim tape because I need to be able to push this rim lock up into the top of the tire, and I can do that. And it has like a spring that will bring it back down on the bead. That's exactly what I want. When I get over here, I'll show you. And here's the Dunlop MX34 rear. I'm going to grease one side and get that down on the rim first. And I'm going to put this thing on the floor again so I can use my body weight as leverage. Now, unlike the front, the rear MX34 is actually bidirectional, which means it can rotate in either direction. I'll put some tire lube on, just on the inside of the bead. I'm going to flip the tire. So I have the bead on all the way around on this side of the rim, but it's on top of the rim lock. So I need to push the rim lock up into the top of the tire. So I'll use my rim guards and I'll put one on each side and just take the irons and pull it back, and then I'll pop this down up into the tire. So now that I have my rim lock set up for the install, I just need to powder the rear tube, get it in there, line up the valve stem, and then get this last bead on. Now for the back, I'm actually going to leave the internal nut on the inside of the rim. I've done it both ways, and both seem to work pretty well. I'm actually not too worried for the back, because I do have a rim lock for this rear, so I don't think the tire is going to do much sliding. Anyways, let's see if I have a problem with one or the other first. And now for my favorite part, I gotta get that valve stem. All right, they got the tube in. I have the rim lock down past the bead. All I have to do is get this final bead on. Now I'm gonna leave that tube nut just a little bit loose for now. I just need to hold it so it doesn't go back in the tire. So I'm thinking to start just to the right of where the valve stem is and work my way around this way. It shouldn't be too difficult when I get to where the rim lock is. Now the rim lock is up into the tire right now. Exactly where I want it. All right, but I didn't damage the rim and it looks pretty good. I don't see any pinches anywhere. I think I might be all right, man. This is almost like a perfect install. I think I'm gonna put some air in it right away. The rim lock does add another level of difficulty if you do tire installs. So I reused my old Renthal sprocket and got the wheel back on. Everything looks great, fits perfect. And I wanted to mention using one of these 3D printed chain tension tools really helps with the STARK VARG just to get it right. Just put it right there and I'll tighten this axle up. And I'm gonna put about 75 Newton meters on it. Looks sick. The wheels match the graphics now. But there's one more thing I need to do before I can say this is done. I'm going to put this seat with the red ribs back on. It's going to finish it off. I really love how easy STARK makes this. I'll just leave them all a little bit loose before I have all the screws in, then I'll tighten them down. Tuck this tail part into the plastic. That can be a little tricky. Oh yeah, this thing's gonna look way better with those wheels. Now the wheels and the graphics match perfectly. Really digging this. I originally thought about having the plastics dipped or painted black and just make an all black Stark, but I don't know, just felt like doing something different on this one. And I like red almost as much as I like black, so I am so happy with these SMPro wheels. They are ridiculous. And the quality is next level. If I get a set of Supermotos for this bike, I'm definitely getting another set of these. And super easy to order. I just went on their website, dialed up what I want, and about a month later, the wheel showed up. Wish I could take it out and ride it, but you guys know my shoulder's so wait until I can ride this thing again. It's pretty much done. There's not much you can do to a STARK VARG to make it better. Bike is already fast enough. So I think that's gonna do it for this SMPro Platinum wheels install video on my STARK VARG. Came out perfect, and I'll see you guys in the next one.